My name is Moon Petrie. Please disregard if you hear the sound of a shaky egg in the background. And this is more of a recap than an actual vlog. Today is Sunday, November 22nd. And I want to thank Devesha for the wonderful idea in a comment on the video when my baby was trying to type. As I was trying to type and was putting baby feet all over the keyboard, Devesha said, "Let that baby type," and maybe get a little baby laptop. On the 22nd, maybe thanks in part to the incredible baby distraction that I used, which I did not put the batteries in yet, so that'll be a whole new thing when I do that. I wrote 2,345 words. Yes, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like a baby baboon over here. Today is Monday, November 23rd. I only wrote 613 words, but it was the intense part of an action sequence, very sort of like a mini climax point, and yeah, it was intense to write, partly because of that just in general, and partly because it also took place at great heights and was dealing with that, and I am afraid of heights, so it was pretty intense to write. In addition to being glad I got through that point in the book, I also hit 25K that day. Today is Tuesday, November 24th. Again, I did not hit the amount I needed to maintain the number of words per day that I said I needed. 1333, I guess, ish, to hit my newly lowered 35K goal. But I came closer writing the aftermath of that scene, which was also intense, but, more in an emotional way. I wrote 1,168 words. Excuse me, Jasper. It is November here. Today is Wednesday, November 25th. Again, not quite hitting that 1333, which by then was creeping northward to 14 something. I wrote 1,054 words that day. Today is Thursday, November 26th. Thanksgiving for my American friends. So yeah, the 26th. Where to begin? Okay, we begin with my 4-year-old who woke up throwing up in bed. So I started the day with that and changing bedding, bringing bowls, trying to make sure that the barf hit the bowls and not anything else. And, American Thanksgiving. And so I wanted to be making pie, and I was feeling bad for this kid, feeling so awful on a day that's supposed to be devoted to having an enormous appetite and eating delicious things. And so I wanted to be making pie. I was feeling frustrated that I hadn't made the pie crusts the night before, which I had meant to do. And so that's the space I was in. I was like, this sucks, this is frustrating, poor kid. And then, so the baby had a bit of diaper ration. So one thing that I like to do is make sure to air out a little between diaper changes. So take diaper off, wipe baby down, set baby safely in playroom to air out for a couple minutes before the dry diaper goes on. So I did that, and I was putting away the clean dishes, 2 minutes, and suddenly the baby was screaming. Having pooped on the floor, gotten it everywhere, and tasted it, thus the screaming, because of course it tasted awful. So I cleaned all of that up. first paper towels and then this pile of baby washcloths, and I get that baby clean and I get the floor clean. And before I want to touch a clean diaper, I go to deal with the washcloths. I have a lifestyle that leads to having a bucket in the bathroom that we call the yuck bucket, into which all things particularly wet or dirty go. So I put the washcloths in the yuck bucket, washed my hands, and by the time I came back, there was this huge puddle of pee now. So cleaning that up, going, forget this drying out period. I'm getting a dry diaper for this baby. And then the 4-year-old starts throwing up again, lying on his side. So I then have to clean vomit out of his ear. So that was how Thanksgiving went. And I usually love Thursdays because on Thursdays, there are multiple live streams that I really enjoy attending that happen at reasonably good times for my totally crazy lifestyle. But it was, Thanksgiving. And so Kevin and Laura were not. Aww. So it was Thanksgiving. Kevin and Laura were not going to be hosting their usual Thirsty Thursday. And then I realized that Marcus and Matilda are Swedish and don't have American Thanksgiving. So they were actually streaming. And I had by that point managed to get the pies made. And so I did manage to attend a sprint, and I wrote only 231 words that day. But let's be honest, considering the day, that was pretty remarkable. It's Friday, November 27th. It has been too long since I had some oolong, and isn't everyone just grateful that I don't write poetry? And I had what I'm pretty sure is my best day this nano. I'm not quite sure how I pulled it off. I wrote a bunch during quiet time. Baby actually slept while the 4 and 6-year-olds were having, so-called quiet time. It's really playing separately so they don't scream at each other time. But I wrote 2,536 words, which I have written more than that in a day other months, but yeah, not since this baby was born. So that was a good day for me. And I hit 30K that day. So that left me having written 5K in 4 days with 5K left to go and only 3 days left in Nano. Today is Saturday, November 28th. And I wrote 1,781 words. And I said 1781 to my history geek husband. He was like, what happened in 1781? No, my words. Today is Sunday, November 29th. And I wrote 1,588, so pretty darn close to a full nano day. Today is Monday, November 30th. I'm sitting at 33,383 words, which makes it seem totally possible. In fact, really likely that unless something goes ridiculously wrong, always a possibility, I will actually hit 35K today. That's, still losing. But it's a lot considering all of the other things. And just in general, it's probably at least a third of the book. And if I can do something close to it for December and January. I should be able to finish this draft. And I've been feelings that remind me of writing my first book years ago. Like I don't know what I'm doing, and I have to take a lot more time to think things through rather than proceeding forward with confidence. And so I feel like changing the genre and category has really made it so that I have to spend more time in the thinking through process. It's just not my comfort zone. And that's okay with me. I took kind of off and on a couple of years to write that first book. And so if I can write this in a matter of 3 or so months, then I think it shows that I have learned a lot and gotten a lot of practice especially in the last couple of years. And I'm happy with where I'm at, approximately. With regard to my Nano survival kit, I am getting so much use out of that tea box and the tea that is in it. I have tried a bunch of kinds of tea that I have never had before, including Prince of Wales, which is a really lovely black tea, and something called buttermint that tasted exactly like those super melty after dinner mints you get at restaurants that it was like peppermint and vanilla. I don't know. I'd never had it before. It was so lovely. So I'm going to power through those last words today somehow, and the how is definitely going to have something to do with drinking a lot of tea. Lapsang Souchong is a smoked tea. Basically, it tastes like campfire. I haven't had it in a long time, but I love it. I wrote 310 words during quiet time. Not a whole lot, but that brings me up to 33,693 words. So I have 1,607. So I have 1,307 words to go. Maybe 665 words to go. And I did it. I made it to 35,211, I think, words. And I still lost. But I made it to my 35K goal 11:25 at night on the 30th. So it's the 3rd now, and jingle, jingle, jingle. Crazy hair. So I needed a couple of days, and I took those couple of days, and it is Thursday, so there will be a couple of live streams today, one starting shortly, and I am gonna try to write a little bit today, but I'm not gonna stress too much because I've decided that my goal for the month of December is going to be 25K. It's like reindeer or something. Jingle, jingle, jingle. So I'm just gonna try and hit 25K this month. Keep some momentum going with this project while feeling somewhat less pressure. So there we are. What have I learned? I have learned that it's not always going to be possible to win at Nano, which is a thing that I said. I did some sort of Nano tag last year. One of the questions was, do you picture yourself doing Nano again? I said I can't picture myself not doing it. I can picture myself not always winning. So so here we are, that day has come. And I think that the most important thing is that now I know I can lose Nano and be okay. I don't like giving up on things. I don't like failing or leaving things incomplete. And so I was a little worried that I was going to be upset. And maybe I'm just too busy to be upset. But I am fine. I'm fine. I'm happy with what I accomplished. And it is good enough for the me that I am right now, which is a pretty busy me. So that I think is the main takeaway, and also that that changing a project, changing to a type of project I've never done before can feel like starting from scratch. It really reminded me of writing the first time I actually wrote a whole novel, and yet I've progressed through this a lot faster and with more confidence overall, more of a sense of where I'm going, and a sense that I know I can finish it. And so giving myself the space to have that uncertainty, to have this learning curve is okay. And I will never really be back at square one because I have continued to keep working as a writer, keep trying, keep drafting, keep revising, going through the beta process on both sides. Being a beta reader also is, I think, has been super beneficial to my process. And so I can take steps back. I can feel like, like I'm not at the peak of like where I could possibly be because of a change like this, doing something so different. And I'm not gonna just fall back to square one or not know what I'm doing completely or like not be a writer or something. So that's been good. That's been good. And having a more flexible mindset is good for me in general. I'm not always great with being flexible with things like changing goals or, not attaining things or having to do things in a way that isn't how I expected. So that's good. That's good for me. And other than that, I think the main lesson here is children are growth.